Internet. It is I, InsaneLayne, with my first thoughts on Game of Thrones, Episode 2 of Season 7, Stormborn. I just finished it. It's awesome. Where to start? Okay, everybody needs allies. Everybody's on their own. Cersei and her very, very limited crew, they gotta start getting some people on their side, because really, she's queen of like 2 kingdoms right now, and the rest of them hate her. So she's in a bit of a tricky spot, and she's trying to, rally the other lords, some of whom are loyal to the Tyrells, that like, hey, you really need to be on my side right now, because, Daenerys is coming, and Cersei goes on to this long ranting speech about how crazy Daenerys is, just like the Mad King that we all remember, and oh yeah, she has dragons. And, Cersei gets called out a bit on, what can you do, my queen, about these dragons? If we're going to be on your side against dragons, we really need a plan to deal with the dragons, and Cersei don't have one. Then back with Dany and co, we get, Varys being challenged on his loyalty, which I'm so glad somebody finally calls him out, because, yeah, he's changed sides, like, probably more than anybody else in this show. He really has. And so she just says, like, why can I trust you? Also, of course, I'm never going to trust you because you've betrayed this person, you betrayed this person, you betrayed this king. You turn on a dime. And he makes a not terrible argument that his loyalty is to the people and he will always try to install a ruler that he thinks will be the best for the people. Not the worst response. So, as much as Dany doesn't trust him and she says, you betray me, I'll burn you. I like that. He at least says, long as I think you're what's best for the people, I'll back you. So she's definitely keeping an eye on Varys. She's not trusting him as far as she can throw him. Then we have the arrival of Melisandre at Dragonstone, which is interesting. Because she was coming from, I'm trying to think, where did we last see her? She's coming from Jon Snow's camp. She was with him, I think. Or was she with Castle Black? Did she stay? I don't remember. But yeah, she's with Dany and co, basically representing herself and the Red Priestesses, which are not as big a thing in Westeros as they are in Essos. But, she says people are starting to catch on to it. They're gaining power. And we learn, this is when Tyrion gets to find out that Jon Snow is King of the North, and the nice little connection between them going back, and Tyrion sends Jon the message, quoting the conversation they had so Jon would know it's really him. I like that. I don't really get why neither Jon nor Sansa thinks it's a good idea to meet with Daenerys. We are reminded later of what Daenerys' family has done to their family, that they invited somebody under the guise of meeting as friends and then had them roasted alive. And yeah, that would make me wary too, but I would also realize this person has probably the biggest army in all of Westeros right now, and dragons, so I really should at least be polite. I can kind of understand maybe not Jon going, but I think Sansa should have been sent to meet with her kind of immediately, or somebody. Don't just ignore it, is kind of that approach. Okay, what else have we got? Okay, then, after Cersei's saber-rattling to her small crowd of, we can't let the Mad Daughter return and take over, later on in the crypts we see that she has actually been working on, well, she hasn't, but her mad scientist Maester guy, he's been working on something to deal with the dragons, which appears to just be a really big crossbow. They shoot it through an old dragon skull to show that it's, it's lethal, whatever kind of weapon they're using. Oh, excuse me, really will take out a dragon. Why is everything making noise when I'm trying to do a thing? It really will take out a dragon if they can, I would think aiming it is kind of a thing, because it looks like it would be, like, near impossible to turn that thing. At least not quickly. So, dragons are, they're fast, they're flying around. I really don't want to see a dead dragon, Game of Thrones. Like I said last time, that is the one thing that I think fans would not forgive you for. And we forgive you so much shit. But no, I don't think we'll forgive the death of a dragon. So I don't know what's gonna become of that weapon. I don't like it. Not at all. I hope that we never see it used because I don't want to see a dragon die. I really don't. I will cry a lot. Um, Speaking of moments that almost made me cry, skipping ahead a bit, Arya and the dire wolf. It's her dire wolf that's all grown up now and has a pack of wolves. Aw, and Arya's like, come with me, you're my old friend. The wolf's just like, no, you abandoned me, so you're not my friend anymore. It was so sad. Like, you just want to cry. Um, Speaking of Arya, she meets up with Hot Pot, who we haven't seen since, like, season 2? Maybe? 3 maybe? Did he, like, once in 3? I'm not sure. We haven't seen him in a long ass time. He's become quite the fine baker. He's got a nice life going on. And Arya finally learns what's been happening in Westeros. The Boltons are dead. They're gone. The North is once again in the hands of the Starks, in this case Jon, who she learns is king of the North. And, you know, kind of surprisingly, gives up her vengeance on Cersei and turns around and starts heading north to go home to Winterfell. I find this kind of surprising. I really do, because the whole character arc of Arya has been taking her away from being the princess that she was born as into becoming like this rogue assassin type person. And to pull like a 180 like this so quickly, it seems out of character because Arya's had chances to go home before. She's had times she could have returned to Winterfell before and chose not to. You know, Hodgepodge mentions Brienne, and obviously Arya did not go with her. Instead traveled across the sea. So the idea of Arya going home, it's interesting, you know? She's very different, obviously, from the person she was. She doesn't know that Sansa is there. Does she think Sansa is dead? Possibly. I think all of the Stark children pretty much think all of the other Stark children are dead at this point. No one knows Bran is alive. When was the last time we saw Rickon? Is he even alive? I don't remember. Sansa, of course, thinks everyone except Jon is dead. Arya thinks at least Sansa, Bran, and Rickon are dead. So, yeah, a lot of the Stark kids think most of the other Stark kids are dead. Didn't see Bran this episode. Didn't get a check-in on him. So we'll assume he's where we left him. Let's see. Who else do we have to deal with? Oh, Jorah! Jorah! My god! That scene where the guy is just like, oh, there's nothing we can do for you, and you'll be insane in 6 months, but it'll take years to kill you. And he's like, well, normally I'd ask you to leave, but because you're a knight, I'll give you one more place to sleep tonight, and, you know, if you want to do anything about it. Suggesting basically that he off himself, which apparently Jorah is planning to do. No, Jorah, no! But Samwell to the rescue. This is why Sam is the fucking best. This is why Sam is great. I knew he'd be the one to do it. He found the cure in the books. The problem is, he is not a maester. He's just a guy who can read books. Oh my god, that scene. Ugh. Like, just thinking about it, I want to vomit. Okay, so much to say. The makeup on Jorah. Fucking amazing. It looks gross and unnatural and weird and painful and just ew. And then when Sam starts cutting it, the pus, I can't, I'm for real gagging. I'm for real gagging, talking about, I can't. Just that scene and the performance of the trying not to scream and Sam repeatedly being like, please don't make any noise, somebody'll hear. And just the looks Jorah's giving him, like, are you fucking kidding me? But, you know, let's hope that it works, that this is it, this is the cure for Jorah, and this is gonna get him back to Dany, because, you know, she really needs him right now. She could definitely use him. He's a good guy to have around. What else have we got? Why is everything in the Citadel gross? I must point this out. And what is with smash cutting gross images from the Citadel against food? Because they do it again. For the second episode in a row, we have gross juxtaposed with food immediately. It's so gross. Like, this is turning into the season of gross. And I really hope that this is not, like, a continuing trend, or I'm just... Oh, I'm gonna have to, like, keep a bucket nearby watching this show, I swear. What else have we got? John learns about the dragon glass, finally gets the raven. Ravens are pretty slow, it's looking like. Um, so then and only then does he decide, hey, I better go meet with the Dragon Queen because she controls the dragon glass and the dragons that can make more of it, and we really need that shit. I point out, you already knew she controlled the fucking dragons that can make goddamn dragon glass, which is what you fucking need. You already knew that. You already knew that. Why did you need to be told there's a mountain of that shit under the ground to finally go meet with her? Like, this is what makes no sense. She's the only person with the weapons and the dragons to stand against the White Walkers, and nobody wants to be her friend? Like, I'm sorry, but there are some stupid people up in here. So finally he's gonna go meet her, but Sansa's like, remember what they did to our ancestor? It's probably a trap. I don't like this. She does it in public, which is another reason why, from the beginning I've been in the I Hate Sansa club, though certainly in recent, no, I'm gonna say like recent 6 episodes, there's been less reason to hate on her, but she's still quite dumb sometimes. She should not be calling Jon out in public like that. And she really needs to, like, establish her position at Winterfell and get some authority for herself, which inadvertently does happen through nothing that she does. Jon, when basically trying to stop everyone from mutinying, says, I have to go. I'm the king. She's a queen. I can't send a representative or it'll be disrespectful. Which, sending a representative is probably what he should do. So he says he's going to go himself. And basically, I didn't want to be king, but you made me, so this is my choice, so shut up and deal with it. And by the way, I'm leaving my sister in charge while I'm gone. So Sansa is now acting Queen of the North, shall we say. Warden of the North, I believe. And so that, I don't know, I hope that they do something real with that. I hope we see her really get to lead, make some decisions, have to make some actual hard decisions for herself and for other people. And, we get to see her really show her stuff if she has any, because so far we haven't seen much to, back up Sansa existing, really. She's, the whole series, she's just been a pawn that gets passed around by other people. She's rarely, if ever, made an independent move, and even the few that she kind of made independently were heavily manipulated by other people. And, she's still very much just sitting back and kind of letting Jon be in charge, even though she disagrees with his style and his decisions and, lots of other things. She's still very passive. So I'm not a fan, and that's largely why. That's largely always been why. What else do we have? Littlefinger. Still hanging around. He's just literally blending in the walls, soaking in the information, seeing, who's against who, what's going what, who's going to join who. He's still sleazy as ever, and he's just biding his time. He's waiting to see how things are going to play out. Who am I going to be friends with? Who am I not going to be friends with? I'm sure I'm almost certain him and Varys would be exchanging some words with each other secretly, because they're the two information people. They're the two people with spies everywhere. So, I would almost guarantee that even if it's just bullshit, they're talking to each other. Littlefinger then apparently has a death wish when he tells Jon that he loves Sansa, which, really, dude, like, everyone knows you loved Catelyn Stark, and the only reason you think you love Sansa is because that's Catelyn's oldest daughter. That's as close as he's ever going to get now, and I really do think that he still thinks he has a chance with Sansa. I definitely think that. I think that he has some kind of plan in his head, whether it's realistic or not, where him and Sansa end up king and queen of the North, or some such thing. Because he's still, like, I don't know, he's just sleazy, and he definitely still thinks he can get what he wants. He can get what he wants. I said that right, didn't I? I don't know, I'm losing the ability of words. Who else do we have? Okay, who do we have? Oh, the big showdown. Do I want to skip it? No, let's not. First we almost get a lesbian scene between Yara and what's her name? Illyria, something like that, on the boat, and she's kind of teasing oh, why can I not remember his name? Theon. It's Theon. She's teasing Theon with, like, invading your queen and stuff like that. It's hilarious. I love it. I love her so much. And, then, of course, the ship has to start blowing up, okay? I'm finally about to get a lesbian scene in this show, which hasn't had one since, I don't even know when. I think there's been one in the entire series, and it's, like, in season 1. So, fucking bullshit, for one. I call bullshit. I call bullshit on that. And, oh, before I forget, who am I forgetting? Of course, I knew I was forgetting. I'm like, where is that note? I need to put spaces so badly. Back to Danny and Co. for a minute. Before Yara is on her ship, the reason she's on the ship is Danny has laid down the law of how they're going to do this. Because, yes, they could just take their dragons and burn King's Landing to the ground and claim the Iron Throne, but that's not going to win the Seven Kingdoms. That means you own the Iron Throne, and that's about it. And, as Tyrion says, you don't want to be ruler of a city of ashes. And she agrees. So the plan is that Yara and her forces and the Dornish forces, well, first Yara's got to take the Dornish women back to Dorne because they didn't bring their army with them. So they'll take Yara's ships, they'll go to Dorne, they'll pick up the army, and then they'll come back and they'll surround King's Landing but not attack King's Landing itself. While the Unsullied and probably the Second Sons go to take Casterly Rock. That is the ancestral home of the Lancasters. If they lose Casterly Rock, people are gonna know that they're in some trouble. The Lannisters do not rule the land anymore. They don't even rule their own castle. So a lot of Cersei's support would disappear if they can pull that off. This leads to the final scene with the missed out opportunity for lesbian action, because on the way to Dorne, Yara's ships get attacked by Euron Greyjoy. His armada crashes headfirst into hers. It is a big, huge battle. Everything is on fire. There's embers flying everywhere, which is very beautiful. And then we have a lot of things that happen. There's a few different pieces. We have Illyria and one of the daughters downstairs fighting. They seem to get captured. One, possibly two, I'm going to say two of the daughters of Oberyn and Illyria are killed by Euron. He definitely destroys Yara's fleet, or takes over, I guess, whatever's left of it. And then we get that moment at the end of when he's got the knife at Yara's throat, and he's saying to, Theon, come and save your queen. Come on, if you're a man, come on. And not even 5 minutes ago, Theon is saying to Illyria, my thing is to protect my queen. Though to be fair, Theon said he would serve his queen, and Yara was the one saying, he'll be my protector. But even when she said it, I was like, Theon is not what I would go to for a protector. He's not really a great swordsman. He's not really known for fighting. He's kind of a broken, de-spirited kind of person. So, not really what I see in a protector of a queen. But, he's her brother. But then, of course, in the moment, he breaks. He sees the people being killed, and the guy's like getting his tongue cut out or something, and I guess it just like flashes him back to the Boltons, and he breaks. And Yara's face, like she's almost gonna cry, but then she doesn't, because she sees him break, and she just, like, that's her hope. It's gone. And when he jumps overboard, okay, it was an unintentionally funny moment. It was not supposed to look funny, but just the posture that he makes when he's jumping over looked ridiculous. So that definitely, oh my god, my fucking phone. And, oh my god! I'm gonna throw it out the window. So there's that, and I was just like, Theon, and I'm back to hating Theon. Not that I ever really liked him all that much. Theon never really redeemed himself for me, even after the torture with the Boltons and stuff. He still never made the journey back to good guy's side. And now it's like, now I just hope he drowns. I really do. I hope one of the ships runs over his head and he just drowns or something, because really, what more could you even do with this character, okay? He was a bastard, he was evil, then he got his comeuppance, and then he had kind of a good guy run for a while, trying to help Sansa, and then going along with Yara for a while, but his character's just played out for me. Like, he's meandered here and there, and he's sometimes good and sometimes bad, but he's broken and he's damaged and maybe he's okay, but he's not. And, I'm just done with the character. I think they just need to end him in whatever fashion, because I really don't see what you're gonna do with him. Not after that. And of course, Yara is dead. She's hung from her own ship. Oh, that sucks so bad. I liked Yara. She's awesome. Um, we don't know if Illyria and the other daughter are alive. They are probably Euron's prisoners. I would think maybe they are what he will bring to Cersei. Um, though, with Cersei does want them, because that is the woman who killed her daughter. I'm gonna forget her name, Marguerite or something like that. But that's who killed her daughter, so that's an appropriate head to bring Cersei, certainly. We'll see if he gets there, because Dany's going to learn what's happened to her fleet, and I'm sure she'll have a response of some kind. So that could be interesting. We could get some dragon action on that, I think. Okay, wrap up. Anything else? I like the conversation between Alana Tyrell and Dany, where she's trying to explain to a very young queen that the real lords of Westeros, the ones she's going to need to back her, they're sheep. They'll do what's in their best interest, and they'll stick together more or less. It's regardless of who's queen. They don't care as long as things are going well for them. And I like that she says to Dany, you're not a sheep, you're a dragon. Be a dragon. So I think that will encourage her to be a little more aggressive. That might not always be the best thing, but she's right. Tyrion's strategy is that Tyrion wants a clean war. He wants a war that's won in an intellectual way, and that's just not how war goes. And Alana is right that sometimes they are just going to have to kill people. And Tyrion is right too. You shouldn't just burn everything to the ground and declare yourself Queen of Ashes. That's not going to help anyone. But it's a balance, and I think we're going to see some conflict between Dany and Tyrion at some points. The other big thing, Meste and Grey Worm, they finally freaking have a love scene. Which, when one of them has no dick, this is impressive on TV. I love the relationship between the two of them. They're both so sweet. Like, they really are like two innocent people in the middle of a bunch of not innocent, crazy murdering people, and they just kind of go along with it. They get pushed along with it, and then they have this wonderful relationship together. That Grey Worm, of course, is fighting. He doesn't want to admit it, and I love when he explains, he was never afraid of anything, but he's afraid now because of her. I love that. So that whole scene is great. Do get good nudity out of it, and, Grey Worm apparently, he knows a thing or two about the ladies. So, that was nice. And, I think that's about it. Oh, and the other thing, I made this note about Miste and Grey Worm. They remind me so much of a, Season 1, Season 2, Jon Snow and Ygritte, and, because Grey Worm has such a nothing Jon Snow quality to him, and Miste is very much the one to tell him so on a regular basis. So I love that. I hope we get a lot more of them. I will be very sad if either of them die. Please don't kill them. But that's it. That's what we get for now. A lot of things have been set up. Yara is gone. Her fleet is gone. The Dorne rulers have been captured, so there's no army coming from them. They're gonna shake up a little bit. The next episode should be very interesting. We'll see how everybody goes, where they wind up, and I will cover it when it airs. So until then, I am InsaneLayne, and those are my first thoughts on Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 2, Stormborn. Bye-bye.